there was no one quick fix for the falling out of our relationship. I mean, I really thought just going to you at winter camp, okay, I got to do the hard thing. I'm going to go. This is not easy. I don't want to do this, but I think I have to. I have to go try to mend our relationship.
This was like when things really boiled over.
It's about to get juicy, people.
Welcome to the Spencer Whiteout podcast. Rated R.
You have some criminal charges with you, bro. It's like we're avoiding the shark. Call it leather fetish, dude.
No, great turbo neck guy.
I'll give you a kiss. You give me your number.
Got checked out a ton, dude. Tell me you felt it.
We're Americans. We're the ones that are descendants from the 1776 musket-bearing motherfuckers.
Welcome to the Spencer Whiteout podcast, where we collect experiences as badges, memories as treasures, and stories as wealth. In part 2 of this 3-part series, I speak with Roman Makovey about an in-depth history of our friendship, our falling out, how our story became the inspiration for my feature film, Space Waves, and our eventual reconciliation. Let's dive in. So let's talk about YWAM Infusion. This was like a 1 or 2 week YWAM school for youth, and basically it was kind of like a ministry, and we'd get teaching, we'd go out, we'd spread the gospel, all that. It was like a fun, intense, couple weeks down in LA at the YWAM base, and it was like a really fun experience. I went in 2011. I had the time of my life. I really grew in my faith. And then in 2012, I invited you to come with, and then you did. You came down. We met with Shaun and a bunch of guys there. And tell me about that time. What do you remember about that?
Okay, that was a lot of fun. I had a great time there. Before I forget, I think it was Manny that was running around and he hit a sign.
Man E.
He's running and he completely, like a road sign or a sign for YWAM, he hit it. And I'm pretty sure he had to go to the hospital. Was that Manny or was that someone else?
I don't remember that, bro.
Somebody ran around while we were all together. Smacked their head. I mean, imagine like a sign on the freeway, the side of the road, like that sort of a thing. He didn't see it and just plowed through it. And yeah, they got in a lot of pain. And I remember, I think the EMTs showed up. I'm not sure. It was a big deal. I mean, this kid got hurt. That was just a silly thing. Do you remember that Canadian guy?
Yeah, I didn't really like him.
No, he was
kind of mean, just kind of irritable.
He was like talking about how amazing Canada was. I'm like, this kid is weird.
Canada's a very special place.
Yeah, why would anyone think that,
Why would anyone think Canada's great? But yeah, that kid was weird. I had a good time there. I think we had a great group of people. I feel like we grew in our relationship with the Lord. YWAM really did a good job of pulling you out of your comfort zones, having you talk to people about the Lord. They really focus on evangelism. And that was a cool thing because, in most churches, that's not like a thing that they really push you to do. That's not something churches or youth groups really push. They probably think that'll scare kids away. But that was a lot of fun. I think we really bonded on that trip.
Yeah, I think that's when we got really close. And at that point, too, that's when I started thinking, you know what? I want to make a skate video for God's glory, and I want to share the gospel with this video.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when the idea for Next Level came about, was like meeting Shaun Hover. He was an inspiring guy, and he had this vision for making Calling All Skaters like a skateboarding ministry, extension from YWAM. I was so inspired by that.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
Because for me, Calling All Skaters is not some program that you come and do, or some trip, or some school, or something like that. And for me, Calling All Skaters is not a cool little niche that I found in ministry that I can do for a little while. For me, Calling All Skaters, this vision, it's big enough that this is my life calling, as far as I know. But as far as I can see, as far as I've heard from the Lord, this is what He's called me to. And you guys who are here, you're part of this vision that God has, which is to truly reach, to plant, to provide that kind of Jesus accessibility, that discipleship, that visible Christ-centered skateboarding community, to offer that life to skateboarders everywhere in the world. And our job will be done when every community of skaters truly has people representing Christ within it. And when every skateboarder in the world is able to know somebody and to see what it looks like to follow Jesus.
They ended up doing that, and I remember I had to wait 2 years in order for me to graduate high school so that I could go down and do Calling All Skaters. So I was a part of the third year that they did it.
Wow. Did you like Infusion? Did you like YWAM Infusion? What were your thoughts?
Oh yeah, I loved it, man. I think it was great. 2011 was better than 2012 in my opinion.
And then when I was there, 2012, it wasn't as good.
Yeah, but that was just because I had such a mountaintop, amazing experience in 2011. And then it was just different people in 2012, different high school kids. We didn't get along as well. Like in 2011, everyone was on the same page, making inside jokes. It was much smaller. It was cooler. I just met Shaun for the first time.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
Infusion. There it is, right there. Oh, this guy, yeah, Shaun. Oh, what? Oh, dude, did you see that? Oh yeah, that was crazy. Oh, this guy is good. Oh! Oh!
Count that!
Oh, what? Man, I just want to make this last time. All the way through, look. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Got a whole week left. I'm mad right now. Really mad.
Yeah, we'll get you something.
We're going to the next level, guys.
In what?
We've been at this level for far too long. We should have advanced long ago. But it's time to move. All right?
Next level.
Next level.
Broken toe? All right, well, we're ready to lay hands on you and pray for you. How about that? The Lord was putting words in my mouth. The Great Commission. When you do His work, He gives you His power to do it.
Oh, dude, sick. Hey, wait up. Name of my skate team is Bulletproof Bacon.
Bulletproof Bacon,
Yeah.
BPB.
Yeah, man.
Gotcha. Sweet.
Bulletproof bacon, baby.
Bulletproof Bacon,
What do you
baby.
think of that? That's our team back.
Another B.
I think it's hot.
Back at my home.
Bacon, baby.
Holy bacon, baby.
No, it's next level.
Next level.
Holy bacon!
Yeah, Bulletproof Bacon, that's his thing.
Bulletproof Bacon? Yeah.
What's the video name?
Video name is
It's called We're Taking It to the Next Level, baby. We're taking up skating to the next level, and we're taking up serving God to the next level.
There we go.
That's what it means.
Catch and win.
Next level!
It was so exciting. It was also my first time like coming down to LA like alone. I was just 15, and so it was really exciting. And then obviously it was great doing it with you, and we had a great time. We really bonded in our friendship. Yeah. And then as I was saying, that's when I started thinking about wanting to make next level and really dedicate my next skate video to the Lord. So we did. And then most of 2012, 2013, we spent skating, filming. And what do you remember about that time of just like filming a bunch and being a part of this new project with me?
No, I mean, I had a great time. I love that you had a very purposeful vision, and I was like, all right, well, I like this vision. This is awesome. I mean, we're making a skateboarding video, and it's going to be like for God's glory, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's to share the gospel. I mean, what's not to like about that? I became a Christian freshman year of high school, and we were all kind of baby Christians, and so I felt like we were just on fire for God, and we wanted to do whatever we could, whatever we thought was fun, infuse that with growing in our faith. And that was like, skateboarding was perfect for that. And I remember having so much fun skating. It wasn't work for us. It was just like, man, this is awesome. But I do remember sometimes certain lines were hard and they took hours to get the right shot. And I'm sure some of them we'd never even finished because we never did it. But I would say we did
as best as we could.
We did as best as we could. We weren't super clean with our landings, but it was still pretty impressive. I mean, we're better than a lot of kids out there, but no matter what, we had fun. We had a good time, and we got better all the time. That's the cool thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was always a constant progression to it, which was so much fun, and we got so much better within that 2-year time period. And I even remember kind of pitching it to you guys and just being like, oh, we're going to make one more skate video before high school ends, and this is it, give it your all. And because we had been making skate videos before that, but they're all just kind of really rudimentary with like the tiny 480p, digital camera, whatever. I finally got real cameras. I got like a camcorder, and then I got a Canon. And so I was growing in my filmmaking, and I was like pushing my friends, being like, this is going to be the best video ever. We got to put it all on the line. This is going to be the last video for high school experience, and I wasn't even thinking about senior year. I was just like, we'll finish this at the end of our junior year, and then...
You were a good hype man, I remember. You were always like casting vision. You're like, guys, this is what it's all about. And we're like, oh yeah, that's right. All right. And so I think now that I look back at it, I mean, you were really good at that, because for us that we didn't originate that vision, you were the person that was like, guys, this is going to be an awesome video. We're going to like look back on this afterwards and this is going to be amazing. And I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be amazing. And now, you know, it's like 10 plus years later and it's like, I still love watching that video whenever I can. Cause like those memories, I forget all the details, but then it's like all those nostalgic experiences come back to me when I'm watching.
Yeah. It's the power of filmmaking, dude.
Oh yeah.
So I want to play for you the opening and closing speech from the Next Level premiere in July 2013. All right.
Okay.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
All right. All right, go up there, baby. Right now, you got this.
Right now?
Right now, you got this.
Right now?
Dude, get it. One more. Good luck, dude.
Yeah.
Orange mic. Right. Orange mic. What? It's starting. Here we go. I'm excited. Here we go.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Who's as stoked as I am for the premiere of Next Level? When Spencer asked me to introduce this, I was honored. I was ecstatic because, I mean, me and him, we go way back. And he called me up, and I honestly didn't even take the time to say yes. I threw the phone down. I slipped on my fanny pack. I flew out the door. Boy, my arms are tired. I'm not going to get into that though. And I went for it because this is a big deal. Okay, it's a huge deal. I'm so excited for this. And I mean, this is 2 years in the making. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to see that, and it's going to be awesome. So I would personally just like to pay some respect to the Bulletproof Bacon skate team and Spencer for all of their hard work, just working together, all the toils, all the stress, all the prayers that came together to make this video just as awesome as it's going to be, probably. I mean, skating is a pretty dangerous sport. I mean, you know, busting board slides, breaking boards, breaking bones. Spencer broke his arm. Christian Blake broke his arm in half. Kevin will not be having children soon. I mean, he got hit pretty hard. His grandchildren will be infertile.
His grandchildren will be infertile.
But, I mean, Dominic, he narrowly missed like a coma or something. Roman scraped his knee out a little bit. I really think that this video is going to be pretty darn juicy.
Juicy.
Right? It's going to be awesome. But I would like to announce some of the accolades that this video has gotten. So feel free to applaud, but Reader's Digest, best movie ever. Rolling Stones, 6 stars. Shaquille O'Neal, 2 thumbs up. Okay, and these are Shaquille O'Neal thumbs that we're talking about. When Next Level thanked the Academy said, no, Next Level, thank you. Classic. So get stoked, get weird, because tonight we're introducing Next Level. So pay some respect to Spencer, Next Level, Bulletproof Bacon. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start it. Get it on.
Wow, he was good.
He was good, right?
I mean, even just for not being in high school, but in high school, that's excellent. Well done, Luke.
Dude, Luke Reed has been a talent since day one, man.
Yes, yeah, he has.
I've always had him do my speeches, and I just love him, man.
Yeah.
All right, and so here is the Next Level closing speech.
Okay.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
How long was it?
We're going to be going down to LA tomorrow. We're actually driving down. And we're going to be able to just like give these videos away for free to like a bunch of skateboarders down there, just all the locals we run into, because we're doing like a YWAM camp thing called the LA Thrash. And so it's going to be really good, and we're going to just give it to them and try to like share the love of Jesus with these kids. And so we made a couple hundred copies, and So after the video, which is like right now, back there, you can buy one, or it's kind of like a donation thing. Like if you have money to like support us, because the whole project costs like about $300 to like do like about 200 something DVDs. And so if you could donate, or if you don't have money, you can still have one for free. But we're just gonna give them away, and if you want to donate some money to help us out, that would be awesome. And what do you have to say, Roman? I just want to thank God for Spencer. If Spencer wasn't here, no, this is on the spot. I didn't even know. But yeah, like if he was filming every single person in that video. He edited everything, and honestly, like all glory to God for Spencer and like everyone else that was skating stuff. Like he made us try the trick until we landed it, and like he had perseverance in filming, and he made us like land our tricks. But yeah, like. This video goes out solely for God's glory. You
can tell I'm so nervous. Dude, this voice crack. Listen to this.
Wait. All right. That's all I have to say. All right. So Joe and Mr. Dominic Federico are just gonna be back there collecting yo moolah. Just kidding, and whatever.
Yeah.
So if you want to get one, and thank you all for coming.
Dama's
It's
a
been a
pimp.
blessing working on this class.
Dama's a pimp, is what Kevin said.
I guess I'm praying.
We forgot God, sorry.
All right. Dear Jesus, God, we just thank you for this time, Lord. We're doing this all for you, God. God, help us have our hearts right. And Lord, I pray that these videos, Lord, just shine your light, God, and explain the gospel to those who don't know you, Jesus. So be with us as we're in LA. Be Spencer and Tanner. God, I pray that you lead us. And Lord, you work in Auburn also, God, not just in LA. God, we love you. And we just thank you for tonight, God. Thank you that the video worked, Lord, and everything worked. God, we love you so much. Amen.
Amen. Let's talk about 5 more rounds.
Dude, what did you think of those speeches?
Wow, I forget how nervous I could be when I'm speaking.
Well, you're doing a good job now, so.
It's way easier to podcast than it is to speak in front of people. Yeah. But even in high school, you know, I mean, public speaking for most people is very hard, and for me, it was hard for sure. So
I feel like you were pretty good, and I was like just filling it with so many filler words and just being like, but you could just hear the purity of heart in those speeches, you know, and like why we were doing this. And what do you remember about the Next Level premiere? Because that was a pretty big deal. You know, we played it at Crossroads Church, and everyone came out, and it was really rad.
I thought it was awesome how many people were there that supported us, you know, the mission of what we were doing. I don't know how much we collected. Do you remember how much we collected from that?
Yeah, it was a few $100. Michael Magorian dropped 100, and I remember being mind blown.
Oh,
that was a lot of money back then.
That is, yeah. That's like $5,000 today. No, I'm just kidding. How long was Next Level? Do you remember?
Dude, it was an hour and a half.
That's a long time.
Way too long. Yeah, it's like a feature-length film.
That is.
But it was just everything that could I pack in there over the course of 2 years of filming. Yeah. And so the very next day, we went down to LA Thrash. We took like a giant sack of Next Level DVDs that we had like hand assembled, cutting out, you know, the inserts to put in the DVDs, writing on every disc what the video was and all that. And so what do you remember about going down to LA with you, me, and Tanner, and then meeting up with all the Calling All Skaters guys and doing ministry down there? What do you remember about that trip?
It was just a lot of fun. I liked that we did a lot of skateboarding, whereas Infusion, it was, you know, we were trying to get sneaky and skateboarding wherever we could. Mm-hmm. So that was nice that it was just a better fit for us.
And it was ministering to other skaters.
Yeah,
so we'd hand out these DVDs. We'd try to share the gospel with them.
It just felt so natural. You'd go skate, and then when you take a little break, wherever you sit down, like there's probably someone else sitting next to you. And you're like, hey, like, how's it going, man? And, you know, maybe they're tired or they're bummed or they're happy, whatever. You kind of figure out a segue into that conversation and then say, hey, by the way, we're handing out these DVDs, DVDs, not CDs. We created an album.
Yeah, check out my mixtape.
Check out my mixtape.
What are you about to do, Stephen Pipes?
Is this a handy cam?
Yeah.
I'm about to hand out the Spencer Whiteout Next Level DVD.
It required a little bit of boldness, but that's why we were out there, you know? So you're like, if I don't do this, then, why am I out here? So
yeah, because we even shared our testimony in that video and had a lot of scripture in there. But ultimately, like, it was just really rad to learn from people like Shaun Hover, Isaac Turektikon, Elisha, Stephen Pipes, all those guys. Like, they were just such good role models for us, and we were able to really share the gospel. And it was just such a hype time. Like, we loved all the other guys in LA Thrash, all the other high schoolers, and we just bonded. Do you remember the Pack-a-Sack challenge, where like for a couple-day trip we would have to pack everything we owned into a paper sack or whatever we wanted to bring, basically, for the trip? So it was like, okay, for these few days when we're staying at this church or wherever, because we were traveling all around LA, it was like Pack-a-Sack challenge. So you can fit like a toothbrush, some boxers, and like maybe a stick of deodorant in a plastic bag.
Jeez. No, I do not remember that.
Or a paper bag, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, clearly it didn't traumatize me, because it must have been fine, but no.
You're like, maybe that's why I don't wear deodorant to this day. It must have been that.
I just got used to it.
What's that smell? It's Brock, sir. Edward Brock Jr.
Yeah, all those guys are amazing. The staff members were incredible. I'm like, how do they even get these guys to come here? They're all so solid. That it was truly an incredible time. Definitely a chance to grow and just to bond, do fun things together, and everything just fused together for sharing the gospel. I was just shocked at how bold these people were. I mean, besides Shaun, I guess he's like a professional Christian skater or whatever. Everyone else was just a regular person, besides being on a staff, perhaps. But they were all so bold, so knowledgeable. They had great relationships with God, it seemed like.
Praying for people whenever we'd see them on the streets, so open, so faith driven, and really inspiring. So I think that really catapulted our spiritual growth in a way.
Yeah, you go back to high school and we're like, man, we need to challenge ourselves. We're like, we can't just like sit and do nothing. I look at these guys, this is what I want to be like. And then I go back to school and I don't see anyone else kind of living like that. And perhaps it might have seemed like we were like trying to be like these ultra good Christians. I mean, we didn't want to seem better than everyone else. We just wanted to live sold out for the kingdom, and we didn't care what people thought. So I think it was great. So that trip was amazing. Thank you for bringing me along. Thank you for inviting me. It was it was really so much fun.
Yeah. So during this time, we were super on fire.
We were super duper on fire. On fire.
Yeah, so during this time, we were super on fire for the Lord, and we ended up being chosen to lead Revival, which was like the before school Bible study. And so it had started a few years prior by Nolan Wright. He had like a vision to do this Bible study before school, and every year it was kind of passed down, and Nolan and Isaac were big influences on us. And so to get crowned to be able to lead Revival was a huge honor. And so it was myself and you, and then Anthony was doing worship. And so every week, Friday, 7:37 a.m. I wanted to just put it at 7:37, be a little unique. So it was basically an hour before school. We would just get together, and then you or I would share a message about like what we were learning or a spiritual principle that we wanted to put forth. And then Finney would do some worship music. And so it was just a really cool time of intentionality, as if we didn't get enough spiritual stuff at Forest Lake anyway.
I know, we're like, it's not enough. We need to do something a little bit more.
But it was cool for us to lead it,
It was. No, it definitely was an honor. I'd say it was a healthy burden. It's like, okay, if I'm going to be teaching, I need to like back it up with like a life that honors God too. I can't just like teach, these principles, these biblical things, and then
just practice what you preach.
Exactly. And then live differently.
Be the example.
Exactly. Gotta walk the walk, not just talk the talk. I remember preparing for some of those messages and being like, wow, I'm learning so much more by just going a little bit deeper than I otherwise would. So it was cool. What do you think about that time?
I think it was good, but But I also think that's when things started to change in our own friendship, because Next Level, this giant project that we did together, was done. I said that was the last video. My mind was set on doing Calling All Skaters the next year.
That's what promoters always say. They're like, this is the last one. Just kidding. Yeah. No, just like movies. It's like, this is the last movie.
I know. Then reboot it.
Just kidding. Yeah. We're going to remake it.
Well, in the promo for Reflect Project, Jason says, I'm coming at you guys again. This is the promo. I lied. I was told this was the last video. I lied, but I was lied too. Good news is you get another video.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
All right, so I'm coming at you again. This is the promo, Reflect Project. Okay, I know last time I told you that Next Level was going to be the last Bulletproof Bacon video. I lied. I'm sorry. I was lied to. And then I lied to you, and now I feel bad about it. But hey, good news is, you get a new video. So, Fudge monkeys.
And so, yeah, I mean, I didn't really know what to do. I wanted to go to Calling All Skaters. That was still a year away. And so senior year, it was like, well, what am I going to do? Just stop filming skating? It became like my biggest passion. And so it was like, I just kept skating harder and harder. And I was filming more and more just either with myself. I would go out skating with a tripod because it was like, oh, people don't want to skate with me. Or
You're graduating. It's over. All the friendships are broken. I knew you were not coming back again. Okay.
I started filming with other people from Auburn and stuff. And at that time, I felt like because I had pushed you guys so hard just with like, go, skate, like all the time. Coming into senior year, it was like people started having different priorities. And then because they didn't want to skate as much, I mean, it's a lot to ask of people and they get broke off. Like it's a painful sport. And you even had some injuries too, a lot of ankle twists, a lot of body slams, like all this stuff. People's interests started changing. People got girlfriends. People were doing different sports. And I think I just took it all very like personally as like, oh, well, they don't want to hang out with me anymore. And some more just like, well, maybe they just didn't want to do another big giant skate video because it was a lot of time and it was a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah, it was.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
I don't know, when you would always tell me and Dominic, like, oh, we gotta finish, and I didn't really ever take it serious. Like, I was just kind of like, okay, I'll do a trick here and there, sure. I just didn't really know the severity of it. I'm just being honest. I had no idea how stressful it was for you, Spence. I'm just on the team. I was doing tricks for you when I could, but I never really put much commitment into it because I never really saw myself as a good skater. I don't want to get into that, but I never really saw the severity of it. And then I saw you get stressed out and needing to finish it, so kind of felt bad about that.
Looking back at it now, we can see how, you know, as you're growing up, you start to put more weight towards other things. You shift priorities, even between like the things that you consider fun. You know, get burnt out on one thing and you do something else. And dude, communication is something that we never thought as young kids that you would have to constantly get better at. We thought we were great communicators probably, but then looking back, we're like, wow, there's so many things that could have been avoided if we would have just communicated better.
Yeah, because so much went unsaid. Like you and I started drifting apart.
Yeah.
And why do you think that was?
Well, I think it was multifaceted. I think it was because I started dating Madeline. I got a girlfriend. And it didn't just affect you, but it probably affected other people too. But I didn't know how to time block things appropriately. I just spent a lot of time with her. And then I also spending a lot of time playing basketball. Basketball became priority. It's my last year. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus more on that too. But I think the girlfriend was definitely the thing that I did not know how to do well in terms of like, because when you have a girlfriend, you start dating someone, you're not supposed to just leave your friends hanging, like never see them again. And it's not that I never saw like my friends, but I definitely, it wasn't
like
proportionate.
After school,
it wasn't like
we weren't hanging out after school.
Yeah,
all
and it
that
was
free time was spent towards Madeline, sports, all that.
Yeah, I definitely devoted as much time as I could to my girlfriend, and that I would say I would tone that down. I think it was just I was so shocked that like this is working out that I was like, all right, I got to put all my eggs into this basket, So I think it's just kind of coming of age. Just if you know what you know now, you're like, all right, let's make things more balanced. I would say that was
this girl likes me. What?
Yeah, but before the girlfriend, before Madeline, I do think that the fact that I was wanting to skate less and less, and that was just I think that was organic. I just was getting kind of tired of it. Not that I hated it. It's just it wasn't as fun as it used to be. Yeah, that definitely was, I think, from my perspective, it looked like that did make you sad. And I don't think Madeline helped either. Nothing against her personally, but the fact that I was not good at time management. And yeah, I think it was those two things. And then what I didn't know later was communicating. I didn't really communicate anything, but I think that was...
Yeah, that's both of us.
That was both of us too, yeah. But I mean...
I was super bummed out. Like I said, I just took everything so personally because I'm like...
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
I tried to explain it at Taco Bell and you guys all just didn't even listen to me. Oh yeah, you're filming. You think it's so funny, dude. Just make fun of Spencer. Nobody helped me out making Reflect Project. I'll tell you, mark my words. You're gonna see the video and you're gonna be like, whoa, I wish I got down with this project. I wish I helped out, you know? And it's like, no, you kind of missed your chance, all right? Because the video's here and you're watching it, you know?
Oh, they don't want to skate with me, therefore they don't want to spend time with me, therefore they don't want to be friends with me or something.
Yeah.
And you can be in that like twisted logic, you know, as a young person, and you just see that people are spending what I thought was too much time on other stuff. And I was like, you're just leaving your friends behind. But I never said any of that. I just thought it, and I just would come out in like kind of passive aggressive ways. Yeah, I don't know. It was just tough.
It's tough. We were going into a problem that we didn't even know could be a problem. We didn't know how to handle our emotions, you know? It was our first big test of our friendship. Yeah, it was hard. It was definitely a hard one.
I also at the time had a newfound love interest, you know, and so that was all new for me, but it was like kind of this long distance thing. And so you were kind of doing something long distance too, but it was with Madeline. She would come back to visit and all this. And so everyone, even Dominic had got a girlfriend. He was spending all his time with her. Kevin was off, you know, doing different things. And like everyone just kind of started drifting apart, and like all these like adult problems started to come in, and like nobody knew how to handle any of it. And there was also so much pressure with like, okay, you guys are about to graduate. It's this impending doom. What are you going to do with your lives? You need to get serious. You need to do this and that. And my plan was always, okay, I'm going to go do Calling All Skaters, you know, and that's the 6-month YWAM ministry that I'm going to do after graduating high school. And so after LA Thrash, you had said, oh yeah, LA Thrash, this is amazing. I want to go do Calling All Skaters with you in a year from now. Once we graduate, we're going to take a gap year. We're going to do that. So there was all this expectation of like, we're going to spend all this time together. And then it was like slowly you like weren't as into skateboarding, you were doing other things, and I was like, uh-oh, what does this mean? And then eventually it finally came to the surface where you told me at youth group, like, dude, I'm not going to do Calling All Skaters when we graduate. And I was just like, well, then what's the point of even, you know, I'm thinking like, what's the point of even being friends now? You know, if you're not going to be with me when we graduate or whatever. Like, I just took that news super hard. And I didn't say any of that to you. I just kind of repressed all of that and like didn't know how to process it. But yeah, what do you remember about that? About telling me, hey, I'm not going to do Calling All Skaters anymore, and like we're kind of on different paths here.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That was definitely something I think I even remember back then thinking, you know, this is going to be hard for Spencer.
It's like a dreadful thing to let your friend down or tell them news that they don't want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, because it was going to be so much fun. It was going to be like 6 months of us being together. I don't remember exactly. I think I probably should have taken more time into thinking of the right time and place of telling you that, but clearly I didn't. No, I
almost wonder if I just brought it up on a whim or
maybe.
What happened, because I think it just happened at youth group one night, and it was like that hammer just dropped.
Our small group leader was like, what are you doing next year? I'm like, oh, I was going to go on this Calling All Skaters like gap year program, but I just decided not to. Okay, next. Yeah, I don't remember the details of that specifically either.
You just remember it hurting.
I do remember thinking this is going to be hard for Spencer to hear. He might even think this is personal, like I'm trying to like bring pain into his life by this. But I mean, I had to tell you. I mean, what am I going to do? Not tell you? So yeah, that was a bummer. That was very hard. It was a lot of things. I didn't like skateboarding as much. I didn't want to go to Calling All Skaters, which kind of makes sense logically. It's like, I'm not going to go to this skateboarding focused thing, especially if I don't love skateboarding. And, you know, I was praying about it a lot at the time, and I'm like, I don't know if this is what I should be doing right now. Not that it's a bad thing to do, but just for me personally, I wasn't.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of money and time investment, and you decided, well, actually, I want to go to college right after high school.
Yeah, just decided on a different thing. But yeah, that, having a girlfriend, not liking skateboarding, I think those three things were kind of like a trifecta of forces that made our relationship a little harder.
Did you actually dislike skateboarding, or was it just that it didn't have the same shine as it used to?
I think it just, I guess that's a good way of putting it. It just kind of lost its shine. Wasn't as fun.
Tired of taking the slams.
Yo, Roman, you should probably get back to skateboarding. You got to stop getting hurt, though, by the way. Come on, man. You can do better than that.
I mean, I can't tell you why. It's not like I was deep inside thinking to myself, man, I just keep getting hurt. But I wasn't that practical. I don't like doing this as much anymore, and I want to do something else.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I sat down one day and was like, I don't like skateboarding. It just happened so slowly over time that It just kind of happened.
And it's just funny because for me, it was the exact opposite. I mean, I had tried different things here and there. Like I remember I tried golf, at some point during high school.
No way.
Got hyped on that for a little bit. And then like a month or so into it, I was like, actually, I don't really like this,
Whoa.
And so it's like,
that's crazy.
I understand that like people come and go with their interests and their different things that they try out. That's the whole point of, growing up. It's trying these things out, seeing what you like, what you don't like, finding your identity, finding your life path, all of that. But yeah, our paths were just kind of slowly diverging more and more, and I was really trying to hold on to that. I didn't know what to do about that. And I remember at winter camp, so this is midway through senior year.
Yes.
This was like when things really boiled over because everything...
It's about to get juicy, people.
But yeah, so we go to winter camp. It's like up in Truckee or something. And we had been a couple times before that. It was with our youth group. It was so awesome. We'd like hang out. We'd play games, stay up late. We'd have worship sessions. We'd go adventure out in the, town and all that stuff. Really beautiful area. And so I remember one of the worship nights, it was like there was just this big distance between you and me. And it was like, bro, like we've been doing this thing, revival, but like we're not close, even though we're both leading this thing. People think we're close because we used to be super close all through high school. Go to the same youth group, same friend group, all this. But like there was just all this tension between us for not understanding each other, not respecting, the changing of life seasons, not knowing how to deal with that. At winter camp, I remember during one of the worship sessions, we just ended up talking, you and me. What do you remember about that?
Well, the way I remember it, okay, I think this is an appropriate time for me to try to make a recovery with my friendship with Spencer. Obviously something's wrong. I don't know what it is though. I'm not trying to be like pretend to be ignorant. I was like probably skateboarding related. I don't know what else.
But it's like, oh, this is a skateboarding problem, but it's like obviously it's not. This is like a personal, I feel abandoned, I feel rejected, and you feel however you felt,
Yeah, I was like, Spencer, there's clearly something between us. Like, what's going on? Said something like that, and then you were so hurt. I mean, I could see you were so hurt that like you weren't having it. I could tell you had a lot of pain, but I don't remember getting any clarity from you. I was like, man, I was for sure like we were gonna make some kind of progress, and I was like really saddened that nothing happened after that. And I was like, well, I tried.
And Don, one of the youth leaders, like came and interrupted while we were having this discussion. And he was like,
hey guys, like what's going on? Like, can I pray with you guys? Or what's going on here? You guys seem like you've been at odds
with each other and like all this. And we were just like, I wanted to say like, don't get involved, Don, but we just kind of let him and we just kind of didn't really say much. And I remember that kind of throwing a wrench into it too. Cause I was thinking like, I'm trying to deal with this with Roman here, and this guy's coming in. We couldn't just say, "Hey, just give us a minute" or something, Like, why didn't we?
We should have. We
just should have said, "Hey, we're having a private conversation here."
Yeah, for some reason, we're like not mature enough to even muster those words. Don, could you give us a minute?
Yeah.
That's just such an adult thing. We're like, oh, okay. Well, I guess adults always know what they're doing. That is a good point.
So we just kind of acted like nothing was wrong.
Maybe it was his fault.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Okay, so after that, it was the turn of a new year, 2014. I remember just going all in on making Reflect Project. I remember, there was the heartbreak that happened with me and that relationship. And so I wanted something to just put all my creativity into.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
So the background for this video, I'm just sitting there praying December 31st, 2013. Just kind of thanking God and reflecting on all the great things he did this last year. And then I got a vision and I got the entire outline for a new video in my head. Does that sound gay?
No.
No?
I don't think
Sounds good.
Didn't sound like homosexual to me.
2014 rolls around. I remember being in Colorado for Christmas and just getting like a vision, a bunch of ideas, because I had been filming and I had been stacking all these clips, and I was, like I said, getting more and more into it. My skill level was increasing, passion for filmmaking. I was just loving it. And then, I do believe it was Holy Spirit led, this idea to do Reflect Project, which was going to be half documentary about the making of Next Level and how impactful that time was in our lives, all the ministry that happened because of that skate video, and then tell that story and then show all the footage from senior year and then close it off with like all the senior events like graduating, senior sunset, all that stuff. So it was like a very full full circle. Very unique project, and I had that vision for it. And so 2014 rolled around, and I just went all in on that, filming all the time. I remember just like, yeah, man, just not having the people that were a part of Next Level be big characters in this film. You know, like you guys all had a few tricks here and there, and you guys were like the main parts of the video last time around. And so I made other friends. You know, I became good friends with Justin Barrett, Tyler Blanchett, Tanner Blake had a part, I had a part. We had Jason Foster like have this extended ridiculous part where he was like trash talking people, and it was like playful trash talking.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
Roman Makovey. Russians, what the heck, always taking their shirts off, sweating a bunch, not okay, alright?
All you do in this new video is trash talk. That's all I've heard, the only clip you have.
Just because you're dating Madeline Zay? Come on, man.
Because you're dating Madeline Zay? Are you gonna put that in?
You think you can just quit the team just because everybody's graduating, going off to college, going their separate ways? Well, guess what, you know? You can. I mean, we are going our separate ways, but, you know, just don't quit on Jesus.
And again, it's like so much of this stuff, we can see it now as like, oh, these are all the feelings, these are all the emotions that were happening. But like at the time we were so young, we just didn't even know that. And so like I said, some of this passive aggressiveness, frustration, all these things kind of came out, seeped out in different ways. The lack of communication, all of that stuff was happening, but it was all just kind of happening under the surface. And that's why we just grew so far apart without even really knowing why.
Maybe we need to call this podcast Deal with Your Problems Now and not deal with it later on.
We just weren't equipped to.
No. Who could have helped us by saying, hey,
definitely not Don.
Shots fired.
Oh, poor Don. I mean, it makes you realize like high schoolers can have like serious problems, you know. You think like life is so like sheltered in high school, but that was a real problem that we had, and it bled into, I mean, years of our life afterwards. So
Warning, entering graphic territory in 3, 2, 1.
On that topic of serious problems, I mean, this is kind of a, you know, a personal struggle, but there was even some, you know, self-harm stuff going on. And I remember just even in that time being like, oh, I want to express my pain, or I want to have a cool testimony, or being influenced by a lot of that music that like romanticized self-loathing, self-harm, like that kind of thing. And then also there being like kind of a community of, you know, girls that all of a sudden would care about me because they had that struggle too. And I got to, you know, be in with them. And there was just a lot of messiness going on there. Do you remember any of that?
Yeah, I remember that season for sure. I mean, I didn't know the motivations behind it like that.
I don't think I did either, but like I said, just looking back now, it was like, oh, there was just mostly like a curiosity with this thing that I'm hearing about in the music. There's people at my school that have done this. Oh, what is this all about? Oh, I'm so depressed. Now I can like show that I'm depressed, and it can be like a secret, you know, thing, and blah, blah, blah. And then it just, you know, got out of control to a point where it's like, oh, then people find out. Then all of a sudden it's this big thing. And then it was like, okay, what the hell was I doing?
Yeah, I remember just being sad. Like, I would even tell Dominic, or Dominic would tell me, like, hey, it looks like Spencer like cut himself again. Or I was like, man, like, what is going on? You know, it's just not something I even heard of, like people dealing with that. So another foreign thing, and I just don't know what to do.
Well, yeah, and I think at that time too, I just like wanted people to care. It's like, don't you see that I'm, you know, so angsty and so hurting? And I started wearing all black, you know, and just was like, screw the neon colors, screw the, you know, loud pink fanny packs and all that stuff. I was like, I'm depressed and nobody likes me, and I'm going through this angry phase, you know, and my heart is broken and all this. And like, yeah, dude, there were some real physical and mental scars that came from some of that. But yeah, just to like close that loop, I mean, that's not something that I struggle with to this day at all. That was just something that was kind of a short period of my life. And then I remember with some of the adults and authorities finding out, it like scared the shit out of me. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm done doing that. Like, I don't like, oh, this is too much smoke here.
Oh, wow. You're like, I've got their attention. I'm
done. I don't want it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're over that. That's good. That's very good. There was a lot that year. There was definitely a lot.
Like I said, too, the music was just like a very much like a solace place for me. And like when you kind of grow up on thriving in a little bit of secrecy where it's like, oh, I can't even listen to any sort of secular music. And it's like, well, I'm still going to listen to it. Like I literally got burned CDs from like my friend's dad to like get me Linkin Park and to get me like,
no way.
You know, different stuff like that. And like we had good hearts, you know, we were good kids, all this stuff. But like the devil will get you any way that he can, you know. So if he sees that, oh, you have a fascination with this genre of music, this subculture, I mean, even skateboarding, we put ourselves on the outside because so much of skateboarding culture was drugs, sex, rock and roll, you know, all of that. And part of what was so difficult with me trying to make skate videos was like I only wanted to film with Christians because those are the only people that were on the same page as me, because everyone else, I mean, senior year things changed a little bit and I met some cool people that I was able to film with and stuff, but like so many of those people were so into, you know, the things of this world that they would look at us as just total freaks. And it was like, well, I can't even film with these people because like you and those Granite Bay kids, it was just like, we're just totally disconnected here. And so there wasn't much connection. We were never a part of like the skate scene or anything.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely feel like we were not part of, I mean, the average skater was probably smoking weed more than they skated. And it's like not something that we could ever relate to. We're like, yeah, you're definitely spot on about that.
Yeah. So with our futures being on different paths, I just had such a hard time enjoying the present because there was so much talk senior year of like, where's everyone going to school? Yeah. What are you going to do with your life? All of this. And it made so much of senior year just completely drag by. And I remember just being in class in Bible class and I'd look over at Jason every day and be like, I can't wait to graduate. And he was just like, stop saying that. I would say it to him every day. I can't wait to graduate. And he was just like, bro, you're making this go so much slower.
Dang. Yeah. No, that is an underrated part that I don't even think I realized. I mean, even just talking about it right now, I mean, that's a lot of pressure on like a 8-year-old kid.
16, maybe 17, maybe 18.
Kids just in general, like to make these big life decisions. Even
sucker you into all the student debt.
Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't go into debt. I just worked every summer like crazy so that I could barely just break even and have no debt. But kids are making these big decisions. I remember being stressed out of my mind about like, what am I going to do? Like, I need to make sure that I'm like, I don't just like waste my college years doing something that was completely useless, or like going to even doing that, but getting like 40 grand in debt every year. So it's like, okay, I have to choose something that's a little bit more practical. But yeah, it's a big stressor for sure. It's not, you just can't relax because you're almost graduated. You have to think about what you're doing next.
Yeah,
you know,
all the time. And there's so much pressure and expectations from adults and teachers and everyone just being like, oh, what are you doing? Where are you going in the fall? What's going to, and you want to like please these people and you want to have everything figured out. And so
I don't even know what the right
so much pressure was.
Thing for parents to do is honestly, because
you'll get there. You're a parent now.
Yeah, I'm a parent now, but I'll have to think about that strategy. Like, how am I going to help my kids to learn like how to deal with senior, junior year? I really don't even know off the top of my head right now. So I'll figure it out. I got 17 years.
You'll figure it out.
The gap year program is not a bad idea because it allows us dumb kids to have another year to think about things, you know, before you blow 40, 50 grand at a school. Even if I did Calling All Skaters just for that, it might have been good too. But I don't regret college or anything like that.
You should have come with me, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it would have been fun.
Well, and what's funny is when I did end up doing Calling All Skaters, I had built it up to this ridiculous fantasy in my mind that even while I was there, it was like it wasn't living up to my expectations because I had spent the last 2.5 years
just thinking about it
and watching through Instagram and Facebook, seeing everyone else's Calling All Skaters experience, just the highlights, you know, and being like, I can't wait, you know, and then I get there and it's like, you know, it's normal things. There's drama, there's highs and lows, there's being in a new environment. I'm with a new group of people. Like, it's not the same experience that I saw televised through my smartphone that I got totally sucked away in. I would be calling Shaun Hover, like I would be his prayer warrior. I would be like, I even edited some like promos for him and all this stuff. And it was like, when I finally did Calling All Skaters, it just didn't hit the same way because I had so many expectations for it and it looked different than what I imagined it would be. So
did you still have a good time at Calling All Skaters?
Yeah, and it grew me so much as a person, but it was just different than I anticipated.
Yeah.
And it was such a growing experience. I made some lifelong friends. It was incredible. Made a whole skateboarding documentary. It was great, you know, but it's always a little different than you imagine.
Yeah. Was that 2015?
2014 to 2015. Yeah.
Dang. That's crazy.
I went to China. So 3 months in LA, 3 months in China. And it was really tough, but totally necessary, and really taught me a lot and helped me grow a lot as a man.
That's awesome. Yeah. I think I would encourage my kids, honestly, to do a gap year.
Just like a ministry?
Yeah.
Or just a gap year in general?
Ministry or gap year in general. Both of my younger sisters, Eileen and Veronica, both did gap year ministry programs, and they loved it. They wouldn't trade it. Even my youngest, Jessica, youngest sister, she's going to do a gap year too. My youngest. It's like my kid. I only have sisters, so I always just talk about them in terms of youngest or oldest. But
dude, there was one clip in the Awaken the Bacon, our freshman year video, where you were skating through your backyard, and then one of your sisters is like riding a scooter and crashes right in front of you, and you totally run into her, and then she's like screaming, and then I cut, and the next shot is you just holding her, like pushing her like somewhere else, like picking her up and moving her out of the skate
probably
spot.
Jessica. Yeah, it's crazy. She's about to graduate, That's insane. We're old, dude. We are old.
Yo, speak for yourself, dude. Life begins at 30 for a man.
Hey, you're 30? Oh my gosh.
In a couple weeks, yeah.
Jeez. Wow.
Something succinct and profound that you said was like, this was my first adult problem. I don't know how to deal with this. What do you mean by that? It's your first adult problem?
It was our first complex, there was no one quick fix for our relational problem that we were having, the falling out of our relationship. I mean, I really thought just going to a winter camp, okay, I got to do the hard thing. I'm going to go, this is not easy. I don't want to do this, but I think I have to. I have to go try to mend our relationship, kind of enter discovery mode and be willing to apologize if he says, hey, you did this and this. And then if I agreed with you, I would apologize. Like, oh, I didn't know that. I was going to figure out things, I thought. And then when you didn't reveal much of anything to me, I mean, besides emotionally confirm that you're still having a hard time, I'm like, man, this is hard. And I'm like, it's a two-way street. If he's not going to talk to me, and I mean, I'm not a genie. I can't just
read my mind.
I can't read his mind.
I don't think I had the skill to be able to process and communicate all of that. You know, so I just had all this emotion, but I didn't know how to break it down and be like, here's some issues I have with you. This made me feel this way. Why did you do this? There was none of that. It was just, I'm upset. I'm frustrated.
Yeah. I mean, you understand the emotions, and you got to make mistakes somewhere. I don't blame us for making mistakes.
Yeah, and it's just as much on me not being able to communicate as it is you as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just focus on what I could have done better, and I don't know how hard or easy for you to do those things. So, looking back, I'm like, I can understand where you're coming from, but man, I would have done it this way. I would have tried to been more timely or over communicate. Yeah, but at that moment in time, when I didn't get anything from you at winter camp, I was like, friendship is a two-way street. If I tried genuinely and he didn't want to give me anything, if he comes to me, if he tries to mend it, then, we'll go from there. But if nothing else happens, I have to move on. What else am I going to do? it's not realistic. It's foolish of me to keep getting hurt emotionally if he's not going to give me anything or tell me anything. So that's why I kind of, I just moved on, because it's like, dang, this is a hard thing, but I have to. At least that's how I felt, so.
Yeah.
This is my perspective, of course. I'm not
Yeah, exactly. We're both just hashing it out of thinking back on what was going on, man? Because we really did have a special friendship and relationship, and it really went poorly. And we were not talking for years, and, sent some pretty gnarly emails and all this stuff.
I can't believe we emailed. That's crazy. How old-fashioned of us.
But I also remember one other moment where it was you and me out on the track, and you were telling me if I keep seeing, self-harming signs, then I'm gonna tell the principal or something. Do you remember saying that? Because I remember in my mind thinking, oh shoot,
did I say principal, or did I say some leader or somebody,
something like that?
I remember saying, this is a big deal.
And it is, and no kid should be doing that and not have some authority know about that, because that is dangerous and wrong and all that. So,
it's spiritually dangerous. You're kind of in the wrong spiritual mindset, and you're kind of lying to yourself. But then also physically, it could get bad real quick. I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking. So if I don't say anything, then I don't know.
Basically, I you better stop this, or I'm going to tell somebody. And I was like,
oh, he's going to tell on me like he's not a good friend.
I don't
He
know
should
if I meant it
support
like
me.
that, but
that's
like,
how I felt. But you wanted to do the right thing.
Because I'm always like, when I have a big problem that I don't know how to solve, I need to tell someone. I need like them to give me input. You know, I remember Rose having issues with my parents where I wasn't communicating with them easily, and we had a lot of times where I'd argue with them, make their lives very hard. I mean, we were speaking past each other, and I would go to my youth pastor, I'd go to my Bible teacher, and I would just ask for advice, like, what am I supposed to do here? And so that's kind of where I was coming from. I was like, okay, Spencer, like, obviously I can't fix this for you. Like, if you don't get this under control, like, you need to tell someone. Or maybe I said, like, I should tell someone to help you. And then you kind of read it the wrong way. But I mean, I'd be scared too. Like, what are you doing? Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
finishing out senior year, we were not close anymore at all. Mm-hmm. Because we were so close through high school, like, I think people could kind of tell that we weren't anymore by the end. At the same time, a lot of people were kind of checked out. Like, friendships changed, people went and started experimenting with drugs and different things like that, and sexual stuff. And so,
what drugs were you on?
Not me.
Just kidding.
It wasn't me, but I just remember people being very distant because everyone was off on different pages, you know?
Yeah.
And so by the time Reflect Project premiere came around, we had already graduated, all of that. I remember there was a falling out with Kevin as well, because I kept trying to get him to do interviews for Reflect Project. And even though he was not interested in skating anymore, he was just like, I don't have time for this, buddy. Like, I'm working, I'm doing this, I'm blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm not asking for much. You know, I just want you to do some interviews for Reflect Project and talk about the next level era. Like, I'm not asking you to skate anymore and blah, blah, blah. And he would just be like, whatever, dude, you know, like, we just didn't see eye to eye on it. And so he was totally checked out of skating and my project. And I think part of it was my fault too, because I remember at Target one time we were skating and Kevin was trying this back crook on the Target ledge. But the problem with Kevin, which I called out, was basically he could land the trick, but he would never like commit to the landing. So like that trick, he would get into the grind, but he would never commit to actually putting the wheels back on the ground, because that's like risking, you know, slipping out and slamming. So you'd like get in the grind and you'd just like hop off, you know? And I remember telling somebody like, oh, he's not going to do it. Basically like, don't waste the camera battery. Like, don't waste the SD card space. Like, you don't need to film that because he's not going to commit to it. Whoever I told that to, either Kevin heard it or that person told Kevin or something, but Kevin came up to me and was like, dude, I heard what you said. And then he just like walked off and stopped skating with us. And I was like, dang, dude, like I felt so bad, because it was like I was bad mouthing my friend behind his back. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, what I was saying was true. He needed to get over a fear of committing to the skateboard trick or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, whatever. He was never like super, super into skating as much as we were, you know? And so me saying that, I feel like was just kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And he was really upset about that I was like dissing him, and, you know, but I was just like telling it like it was, you know?
Yeah.
And so that happened.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't gossip because it wasn't behind his back. You were literally right there in front of him, just a little quiet. No, yeah, right. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, it's tough.
And then when we did the Reflect Project premiere, I remember, because Kevin barely had any footage in the video, he had like 2 ollies and then he had like a really quick interview segment. He didn't even do an interview at the end where I interviewed you, me, Dominic, where we talked at the end of like what all this meant, blah, blah, blah. He didn't do an interview of that. And so when the premiere time came, all the names on the back, you and Dominic still had your name on the back of the cover with the other skaters and everything, because you guys actually had a prominent place in the video, prominent voice. You were still giving interview clips. You were still doing your best to like give me what I needed to make this documentary and to tell the story of Next Level and to show off all the skating we got senior year, even though the skate crew was a bit different.
Sure.
And so I didn't put Kevin's name on the back of the DVD.
Oh no.
And I didn't invite him on stage at the premiere, even though Dominic and you and then me and Jason, Justin, Barrett, Tanner, Tyler, you know, everyone was up there. But Kevin was nowhere to be found. He was still at the premiere, and then I remember he was bummed about that, and he told me like, oh man, why didn't you include me all this? Like, I think back and I'm like, man, that sucks. Like, I probably should have included him. But then I'm also like, well, dude, but he just didn't really contribute very much at all to that video. And so like, was I wrong to not include him? I don't know. It's all water under the bridge now. And like, this is just kind of musings on looking back, you know, at a project that's a decade plus old. But like, I just look back on like those kind of micro moments of the friendships and seeing how we could have done things better, seeing how things that I didn't even anticipate being nails in the coffin of a friendship ending totally were in retrospect.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of mini lessons that you can learn from those things, but at the time you're just, you know, you don't think about that. You're just like, all you do as a young kid, 17, 18-year-old is you think these are the emotions I'm feeling and they're valid. Okay. Like, you can't tell me anything. So it's hard. It's definitely hard. I mean, it makes sense what you're saying. You feel like he didn't contribute enough. And so, you know, why would I put him on stage? You know, there's kind of a minimum threshold amount of work that you have to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know, it's your video. So you get to decide, and ultimately people can get mad, but yeah, I mean, I can see how he got a little upset for sure.
Now we're going to listen to the intro and outro speech from Reflect Project premiere.
Ooh.
Luke Reed did the next level speech, which was amazing. Knocked it out of the park. Yes. I don't think he thought he did the best job, though. He was a little like embarrassed. Yeah.
Oh, he did so good.
I know. And so the next year he was like, I don't know. And so I had Garrett Jones do the speech. And then after that, I remember Luke looked at me and he was like, it should have been me.
No.
Yeah. And so then Luke Reed has been the staple ever since then. So we had 1 year where Garrett did a speech, but after that, you know, Future Memories, Luke did the speech. Space Waves, Luke did the speech. Luke's my hype man. Like he does the best speeches. So this was the year Garrett Jones did it, and he gave it his best. Listen to this.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most exciting night of your unmarried lives. I'm really psyched for tonight because the line to get in here seems about as long as the line of girls trying to get into Jason's house. That's saying a lot. So when Spencer first told me he was making a new skate video, I was like, dude, no way. He was all, Yahweh. And then he asked me if I want to do the premiere speech. At that point, I didn't even take the time to say yes. Threw the phone down, slipped into the satchel here, and flew out the door. Boy, my arms are tired. Now, the speech itself has become so conducive to every space nebula in the flux capacitor that it has brought together none other than the dark forces of Mordor, the Jawas of Tatooine, the Avengers of New York. Even the inhabitants of Krypton showed up for this. And they're dead. That should go to show just how heck-a-fetch this movie is. I mean, we're talking hunky-dory. And by that I mean extremely satisfactory. Not the feminine Scandinavian ethnic design with the young Bohemian rock attitude. This guy looks like he knows what I'm talking about.
They did this before ChatGPT. It's impressive.
What kind of genius could get away with putting Britney Spears and Attila in the same epic skate video? Heads up, we talk a lot about Jesus in this film, so if you don't like that Napoleon, you can leave. This whole year, Spencer and his cohorts have been DTF, down to film. And it's taken them the better part of one whole hairy butt-stinking year to finish. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. This video, Jeff bridges the gap between a skate video and a documentary of a bunch of hooligans.
All right, laugh at the mic.
Yeah!
That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
By the way, I did steal that last line from Luke Reed's next level premiere speech, which brings up something I'd like to address. Who remembers Luke's speech from last year? Yeah, neither did I. I mean, in fact, an independent study group of fine arts found that this speech is 5 times better than the one last year. How did they know? Because my left pec contains more hair than his entire body combined. It's indisputable proof. Don't tempt me. Just so you all know, there's to be no talking, no laughing, no joking, no texting, calling, or picture taking. At funerals. But here you can go ham like it's a Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah! This video is so radical that 69% of you are guaranteed to crap in your neighbor's pants. So I got you covered with some XXXLs.
Starts throwing diapers into the crowd.
Oh my gosh.
Might not want to dodge these, considering each individual diaper contains a free copy of Reflect Project. Yeah! Beware, one of those contains a special something. Spencer was a little nervous backstage. Well, I sure hope you're pumped for tonight, because this premiere speech has just been one long happy trail to Reflect Project. But we can't start it up until at least 13 of you are screaming your lungs out! That's more like it. So, get soaked, get weird, it's time to start it up! Get it on!
What did you think of that premiere speech? You like Luke's better, don't you?
I do like Luke's. Well, it might be a style thing. You know,
Yeah.
it seems more natural.
I still think Garrett Jones did an incredible job.
No,
though.
he did. He definitely did good. It's incredible that he put all that together, because it's like, it's a lot of work to think of all that, you know?
Well, actually, and what was so fun was like, that was kind of even the beginning of my writing journey, because...
Did you write all that?
I'm a writer-director now. Mm-hmm. I brainstormed it with Luke, then with Jurassic Legs, Garrett Jones, you know. I brainstormed it with them, so we would come up with stuff, and that was such a fun process to me that eventually, when I got to university and all that, I was like, I actually like writing comedy, you know, and one of my early short films was even about a dude that was doing like slam poetry, and so it was like a silly, funny speech like that, you know. And so to me, doing a premiere speech has always been one of like the most fun parts of any video project, because you're inviting people into the experience, and how do you want to set up the experience? And so we just had a blast coming up with all those jokes and putting all that in there, and I think it turned out great, as good as it was, you know.
Yeah, I think that was good. I mean, I couldn't do anything like that, you know. You have to not just read it, but you have to, like, you know, kind of act it out. You have to perform it. Yeah, that's definitely performance. So easy to judge, way harder to do. So
yeah, well, and that even inspired some of the premiere scene in Space Waves with the diaper copies, because I saw that for some skate video that did that way back in the early 2010s, and I thought that was hilarious. I think it might have been Happy Medium, or it might have been one of the Pyramid Country Jackson Casey videos. It was something. And I saw footage of the premiere, and I thought that was the funniest thing ever. And I was like, bro, oh, that's what it was. They threw diapers into the crowd saying, you guys are going to crap your pants. And so I was like, what if we put the DVD in the diaper, and then we threw those out to the crowd? And so it was just this epic idea. Felt really weird going to the store and buying like adult-sized diapers, you know. But we did it. Got the diapers, put the DVD jacket, put it all in there, and then threw them out. And then that inspired the scene in Space Waves, you know, where they're throwing out copies of Hourglass Existence, Duke's video. So it's all part of the meta narrative, you know, Roman.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I've never tried writing a script like that, so I wouldn't know how hard it is. So good job.
And then this is the Reflect Project closing speech.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
Who the clock thought that was pretty darn sick?
Yeah!
I love you, Spencer. Now let's hear it from me. Okay. Now, I understand you are probably hoarse from cheering so much, but there are some people we're obligated to thank. All right, when I call your name, you gotta run on up here, do something special. All right. Newest addition to the recently dispersed skate team. This man has a life to live and a board to skate. Give it up for Tyler Blanchetti the Yeti. The legendary wood pusher from the far reaches of Granite Bay. Recently considered the least involved member due to newfound college senior friend, Roman Makovey. Now for the man residing on the front of my shirt. The tree frog that came out of his natural hiding place, Zingmar's house. To see this video, Dominic Federico. Instigator of all science camp antics ever. The 9-stair kickflipper LA Thrasher, Directicon lover, the recently nose-pierced Tanner Blake.
Recently nose-pierced Tanner Blake.
The kidney-lacerating Auburn Skate Park regular attendee, the youngest member of this team, none other than the man whom Bruce Willis asked in person to star in his new movie, Skate Hard, Justin Barrett. Now for the man who embodies the stereotypes of jock and geek so effortlessly that he can tell you all about the planet Vulcan and get your sister's number at the same time. That man jumped out of a moving car and ran all the way down here from Auburn despite being chased by a horde of crazed fangirls. The red carpet was invented solely for the size 10 shoe of this man. I mean, this guy puts Chuck Norris to shame and beats David Beckham at his own game. Not even Michelangelo's David was chiseled more carefully than the physique of this man's body. If I go any further, this may become sexual. Ladies and gentlemen, but especially ladies, give it up for Jason Foster Freeze.
Pretty good. That is good.
And now for the man with whom this entire project started with and now ends beside. The fearless filmer, the existential editor, the founding father of all bulletproof bacon known to mankind. The co-writer of this pungently flavored speech, and the genius who thought of my Instagram username, Jurassic Legs, legs with a Z. Second in appearance only to the infamous Foster Freeze. Give it all you got for the man of the hour, Spencer Whiteout. Pay some respect to the satchel bearing, tactical gear wearing, ever so daring, female marrying, tender loving caring, Jurassic Legs with a Z, aka Garrett Jones.
So much hype, so much building each other up.
This is your Instagram moment, guys. Might as well whip out your fancy phones, because the hashtag has changed from Reflect Project is coming to Reflect Project is here. We're not getting off this till we get at least 3 pictures. Let's do this. Come on, whip them out. Whip out those phones. But let me just describe to you, the selling of the DVDs. So pretty much, I want like everybody to be able to have a copy if you're down and if you want to remember the legacy that this BPB crew has left. You know, it's like a carpet stain that will never go away. You always remember this night. Partially due to Garrett Jones, but mostly due to Jason Foster. And so, the DVDs, it's gonna be donation. If you don't have money, if you're broke as a joke, I still want you to have one. So just pick one up. We do have the last video up there too. But it's just whatever you wanna give, you know, the Lord is so good and I'm hyped to be able to do this. And there are a few limited posters left. So, snag those while the getting's good. And I just wanna thank everybody for coming. Serious applause, let's go.
What do you think of the Reflect Project closing speech?
Very nice. Very nice. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's excellent. You know what made me think? This is not like the main theme of it, but has anyone ever complained about you changing your last? Did you actually, is your legal name now Whiteout?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
He's no longer white?
No.
No way. On your license, it says Whiteout.
Yeah, dude.
What?
You didn't know that?
No.
I changed it 5 years ago. In 2020.
What did you?
I changed it in 2020.
Oh my gosh. Did people say that you were racist?
You are racist.
I don't know. They probably still do.
Oh, that's so cool. No, it's amazing. What did your parents think about that? If this is a sore subject, you can just edit this out. But I'm curious.
It's not a sore subject for me. I don't know if it is for them. I don't know. I mean, I think one, they kind of saw that coming. They kind of knew that I'm always going to do things my own way, you know?
Yeah.
And I had been going by it as like a stage name for a while with like the skate videos and all of that. And just more and more as I developed into wanting to be a filmmaker, wanting to be, you know, successful and all of this. And the stage name became more and more of like an identity and a personality that I was like embodying. And I wanted to start my own family lineage. I know, like, you know, people might look at that and think like, oh, it's disrespectful or whatever. But I wrote my parents a nice letter, handwritten letter, explaining all my reasoning, just saying like, hey, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Or I said, this is not a rejection of the family name, but rather a 3-letter addition for my own family moving forward. You know, always love you guys, always be your son, all of that, as well received as that could be, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I just got to kind of do things my own way. And I have big plans and big visions for what I want my future family to look like. And I want to be original. You know, there's too many Spencer Whites on the internet. There's only one Spencer Whiteout.
Is there really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so cool. Hey, I mean, God put that on your heart and made that a priority, so I respect you for that. That's very cool. And it's cool that you wrote him a letter. I mean, that's super thoughtful.
You're like, that's more than I would have done.
I mean, I don't know if I would change my last name, add an out to it, but I mean,
Makovey
out.
Makovey out.
It sounds like I'm
That's
dying.
what you say when you're done. You hang up the phone. Makovey out. So circling back, the Reflect Project premiere happened. I ended up going to Calling All Skaters. I took the gap year, came back. And then the next summer 2015, you were in town and so was I. And I remember you reached out because you wanted to just talk and catch up. And so I was like, you know what? I don't like this guy. I was still harboring so much bitterness and resentment, but I was like, well, maybe this time things will be different, you know? So let's go to In-N-Out. So we went to In-N-Out to like meet up, and we ended up talking at In-N-Out. And I remember feeling like, oh, I just don't really recognize this guy anymore. It just seemed like we had both grown so much in different ways. And I remember not really knowing what to do with that, because it felt like we were kind of running out of things to talk about, or it felt like none of the previous stuff that had happened had really been addressed. Like we still weren't able to like really address it. We were just kind of catching up on a surface level about where our lives had been. And so I remember being very just conflicted about that meeting. But what do you remember about it?
Yeah, I just remember we didn't go into depth about like, you know, the core problems that we had. I just thought it'd be cool to at least catch up. I'm just curious to see, you know, what's going on in Spencer's life. And, you know, if he said no, then no big deal. But the random thing I do remember is telling you about how he's focused on, kind of worried about my career. Like, what was I going to do after college? And I remember you gave me a vibe like, dude, you shouldn't be like so focused on that you can't like make that an idol. Something like that. I got that vibe. And I'm like, bro, I mean, I'm not making an idol. It's just I have to be responsible. That's kind of what I was thinking. I didn't say that.
No way. That's crazy.
But, like,
making an idol out of being responsible. That's crazy.
I could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah. But that's what I remember. And I was like, that's wild to me. I was like, okay,
I'm a slow learner. Like, it took me a long time to grow up, bro. And so, like, I probably viewed you being like all adult and responsible as like a negative.
You thought I was like chasing money or something.
Yeah.
It's like,
I do remember thinking you were chasing money because you were talking.
I haven't made it. Yeah, I mean, I was just stressed. Kind of like when you're senior year, you're worried about what you're going to do. Well, it's like, I hope this all works out, pans out, and I land a job, and I...
and I was like, oh, you just want to make lots of money? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you know, you're doing ministry, you're like, I'm better than you. How dare you pursue a vocation? You were sick.
Right. You are sick.
You are sick. That's what I remember. And I remember it not going well, so I was like... Well, I mean, whatever. Like, it wasn't terrible. We didn't like yell at each other, but it wasn't like a great, like, we didn't bond or like laugh over things, you know.
A couple more years went by, and I remember, you know, at Biola, I've talked about this many times on different podcasts and in Beast Mode, the documentary, The Making of Space Waves. But basically, I started writing a story about two guys, Marvin and Joey, and it essentially was an allegory of our friendship. Writing the film Space Waves was a big part of the healing and all of that. Summer 2018 rolls around. We're about to go shoot this movie and film it. You reached out to me and you asked, hey, like, I seem to have misplaced those, you know, old skate DVDs that we had. Like, I was wondering if you could send those to me. And I should have taken the high road, but instead I was like, how dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you? I was thinking like, that means he lost them or he didn't value them. And like, why would I give those to him? Like, just super bitter, super hurt, super jaded. And I knew like I had to work through that. And I didn't work through it in the best ways, because then I was like, you know what? Here we go. And I just unloaded. I just wrote out this brutal email that was way too harsh, bro. And it
was 8 pages long.
And it was basically just pointing the finger the entire time about like how much you hurt me and like of all these experiences and all these moments. And I tried to look for the email and it's just gone forever because it was a part of my Biola email address and they shut down the Biolas. So now you just get to live with the trauma in your memory. You don't have any proof of it.
Dang. No, I remember. I'm
sorry, dude. Every word is probably burned into your psyche. I went way too hard again. I apologize so much for that, dude.
It's all good. good. It's in the past, and we've
and we've
gone
sent
through.
some better emails since then. But
we'll
get to that in a minute. But yeah, what was that like to read that email? Because I know you said you wept when you read it, bro. I hit you hard, dude.
No, I did. It was either right before I got married or right after. And so there was a lot of emotions because I just got married or was about to get married. I was at a coffee shop. Sarah was studying for her like big nursing exam. Like she passes this. I think it's the NCLEX. It's like the last test that nursing students need before they can start working. And so we're at this coffee shop and I read it and I have to go outside and I'm just like, just in so much pain. I'm like, oh my gosh. The terrible thing is like, yeah, I don't agree. Like, I think Spencer's wrong on this, but it just hurts me so much to see like, man, all this bitterness, all this anger, rage from Spencer's perspective. And I think it's like misguided.
It totally was.
And it breaks my heart for like our friendship. Like if miscommunication wasn't an issue, I believe that it could have been fixed. Not that I did everything perfectly, but you know, it could have been so much easier, but you know, we didn't know that. And you can't go back in time. But yeah, I did. I was crying a little bit. I was like, man, this is it's just hard, you know, because it's a friendship. You invested so much time, and it hurt. I was like, all right, I have to respond. Like, I have to, kind of process my emotions there.
Did you share it with your wife immediately? Or
I did. Yeah, I did. I was like, babe, this is insane. Like, he sent me this huge letter. I just didn't see it coming. And then I took time to respond. I'm like, well, I can't just not respond. I have to respond. He's not going to like my response whatsoever. But I'm going to, what am I supposed to do? Lie to him and tell him things I don't believe? Like, I told him my opinion of it. And then I was like, okay, I won't do 8 pages, but to make it pretty long. I think mine was still fairly long too. But yeah, it was tough. But I'm like, all right, I'm going to break it down chunk by chunk, give him my perspective. And I don't know, hopefully it's enlightening at least a little bit, but whatever. I mean,
yeah, well, it definitely was enlightening, and I was able to reread it over the years following and be like, oh, maybe I am way off base here. Man, maybe I did make some mistakes, and starting to really understand your perspective. I will say, too, a fun fact in the Beast Mode documentary, when Marvin confronts Joey in the bedroom, the breakup scene, I had actually given a copy of the letter that I wrote you, the really intense 8-page one. I gave a copy of that to the actor, Andrew, and he read that right before he goes into that argument scene to go off on Joey.
So it's more real.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Dude. Yeah, dude. And like the emotion really was there because he was just so hurt. And that's my favorite scene in the movie because it's just like close to a 5-minute one take. It's just a static shot in the edge of the bedroom and you just see their friendship basically fall apart in front of your eyes, you know? Like he's just like, why didn't you tell me you quit the thrift store? Why did you do this? Like,
you act like this means nothing to you. Dude, when are you gonna realize it's over? Okay? Space Waves is a dead end.
Space Waves is not a dead end. Like, what are you talking about? Like, the whole thing is just like them just going at each other. And we never had a moment like that because, like I said, ours was just so buried under the surface for so long. But in a movie, you know, you got to kind of write it in a way that's going to be entertaining. You can't just have, you know, inner monologues. They got to confront each other.
In real life, it would have been the camera pointing at us and like having little thinking clouds in our minds. Like, how could you be so mean? But I won't tell you in person.
I think giving the actor Andrew Gabriel that letter clearly worked because the performances in that scene are unreal. Really.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Let me know when you're ready.
Just checking in with Sarah. Sorry.
Is she good? We're good?
Yeah, I'm just asking her.
What'd she say?
She just wanted to make sure I'm okay.
Is he kidnapped
Spencer
you?
attacked me, but I beat him up and he's bleeding on the ground
And
now.
I took his podcast.
I'm also taking over his podcast. Wow. I'm going to make it to the #1 on Spotify podcasts, just like in the movie.
Wow, that's good.
So we're not going to read the brutal emails. Those are way too gnarly and too personal, but I am going to read the apology email. This was Friday, July 22nd, 2022. Okay. So I said, Roman, I reread both of our letters the other day. What a shit show. It's incredible how much has changed in my heart over the last few years. I wanted to write you because I wanted you to know I thought about your words, and I want to thank you for being mature and grace-filled in your response. I know at the time I had so much pent-up anger and regret that I had to get out. I do believe writing out all the hurt was a much-needed release, but at your expense. I'm sorry for that. And I also realized how I didn't own up to anything, take responsibility, or apologize. I guess at the time of writing that letter, I still couldn't see how someone could have a different experience than mine. I'm sorry I was so reckless with that letter and only pointed the finger. That must have been pretty difficult to digest all at once. I realize now there was so much I could have done better as well, especially communication. That would have made us going our separate ways much more supportive time, albeit difficult. Then again, I think we both owe ourselves some grace. We were young and neither of us knew what was going on. I finally released my first feature film, Space Waves, on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, and YouTube Movies. I wrote it in the summer 2017 as a way to deal with all the unresolved pain I felt with our friendship. It essentially allegorizes our relationship with two characters, Marvin and Joey, who do a podcast together. Then, as the story goes on, one character starts moving on and having other interests, while the other is heartbroken and wants the same hobbies experiences to last forever. We filmed it summer 2018, and coincidentally, you reached out right beforehand. Seeing that I was about to direct this movie, I had a ton of emotion, and the subject matter of our past was always at the front of my mind, so hence the long, gnarly letter I sent. I hope when you see Space Waves, you find that I tried to put as much grace into the movie as I feel our story deserves. It's messy, it's hard, and at times it's difficult to watch, but it has already resonated with so many others that have gone through a similar experience as us. Writing the Joey character and seeing an actor bring him to life really helped me start to see things from his and your perspective. Wrestling with this story and project over the last few years has been quite painful, but more importantly, worth it. I'm so proud of the end result. With all that being said, I hope this letter finds you well. I want you to know that I no longer consider you an enemy. You don't deserve to live under that judgment I put on you for so long. I hope that means a lot to you because it does to me. Blessings, Spencer Whiteout. P.S. I have a copy of Next Level and Reflect Project I can mail you. What's your address? P.S. Here's the link for Space Waves. Would love to hear your thoughts. Boom.
Boom. Roasted.
And then here's what you said, bro. Read this.
Hey, Spencer. It is great to hear from you. Thank you for the apology. It means a lot. I forgive you, brother. I appreciate your email a lot because it helps me better understand how difficult it was for you. Over the past few years, I wanted you to know that I did not give in to bitterness towards you, nor will I in the future. I'm not saying this because I'm so holy, but because I know that if Christ has forgiven my worst, I have the power to forgive when anyone does me wrong. And of course, I have plenty of my own sins and foolishness towards you. While I thought you may never give up those things, I know that God has forgiven me for any wrongs, especially the ones I was oblivious to. Therefore, I have always been free from any kind of master. Even when I was tempted to be resentful, Jesus reminded me of his grace and mercy towards me. Nonetheless, I very much appreciate you reaching out to me, Spencer. I hope we can put our past behind us. I think, no bad thoughts or feelings towards you. You have flaws just like me, and we are both saved by the blood of Jesus. That's the truth, not a cliche. In the hardest of times for me, I have thought why certain things happened the way they did. I realized I was able to use those experiences to be a better friend to other friends now and in the future. I rethink of our difficult memories every once in a while to see how I can over-communicate rather than assume something is commonly known. Our painful history was not in vain, but has been used and will be used for God's glory and for our good. Wherever you are living and working, I hope you do well for the glory of God. I hope and pray the best for you, my brother. If you ever want to talk again, feel free to text me or call me instead of email me, as it'll probably be easier to chat that way. If I don't respond right away, I'm currently juggling a lot in the busiest and craziest season of my life yet. Also, you're an amazing writer. I am very impressed, but not surprised. And then I gave you my address. With love, Roman Makovey. Roman Makovey out. Just kidding.
There's deja vu.
I love that.
Yeah.
Those are some good emails right there.
Those are. I want to print those out. That's good.
Yeah, I can send them to you again.
Yeah, send them to me. Because I probably had this deleted because I had to wipe out my email. I'm too cheap to pay for. I was like, at one point I erased all of it. I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that, but whatever.
This was from 3 years ago. And mind you, too, I wanted to send this to you earlier, but Space Waves was taking so long to finish. Like, it had been brewing in my heart for a while. But eventually, once the movie was finally coming out, I was like, all right, now it's the time. And I prayed over it a lot, sent these emails. This was in 2022. It's been 3 years since then.
Yeah.
What's it like to look back on this?
I mean, it's easy to say sorry when it benefits you a lot, but time has tested these emails, you know. You haven't done anything to disprove your email. I don't think I've done anything to disprove my emails. So it's like, I wanted to believe you. I gave you the benefit of the doubt, and you did the same thing, and we moved on, and you know,
just like men, dude, shake hands and move on, you know, and get up and keep going.
Yeah. We just had to grow up a lot, and it's really humbling growing up, you know. There's just
we aired out a lot of dirty laundry on this podcast. Like, we did a lot of mistakes, you know.
We sure did.
But just to see that our friendship did survive even after those really turbulent years and not speaking for years at a time, it really is inspiring. And that's why I wanted to do this podcast with you. The fact that you're down here in San Diego area and I'm up in Orange, it was like, basically after this, I sent you the movie. You'll have to tell me what you think about the movie. But essentially, we started slowly rekindling the friendship. We started with some calls here and there.
Yeah.
You know, chatting a few times a year, every few months, whatever, texting, calling, and just kind of slowly rebuilding the friendship to a point where now it was like, okay, I actually want to have him on the podcast, and I want to tell all of this, and I want to do this right, you know, and I want to inspire other people who have been through friendship breakups and been through falling outs, been through hard times, and show you that, like, you can come through the other side stronger, just as our relationship is.
Yeah, I don't think people ever really talk about like friendship breakups or friendship difficulties.
Yeah, that's why we made Space Waves. There's a real void there. There's a real gap for it.
It is. You don't ever hear movies that are talked about that, you know. It's always, you know,
boyfriend, girlfriend,
or
gay, God forbid.
Shots fired.
I mean, it's a unique story that is real.
Is real?
No, it is real.
We're getting really controversial now.
Yeah. It's interesting. You know, it's you found a story that was real, that also there's not a lot of like movies that talk about that have this as one of the main themes. So
yeah, I truly believe that God works all things together for good, you know, for those who love him, are called according to his purpose. Yeah, Romans 8:28. And so, like, going through this whole experience and being able to share it with the world and hopefully help other people who are going through something similar, and they can see themselves in these characters, or they can avoid some of the pitfalls, or they can cope with the changing of life seasons a little bit better. I think that that's going to happen, you know, because of this project and because of our story, and hopefully this podcast gets out there too. And I hope people can be encouraged by it ultimately.
Yeah, definitely.
So Roman, what did you think when you finally saw Space Waves? What was your reaction to like that news that I made a movie, a feature-length film about our story? And what was it like watching that and kind of seeing these characters in an alternate universe playing out some of our life story? And shot in Grass Valley too.
Yeah, was most of it shot? A lot of it was shot in Grass Valley.
Yeah.
But those towers, is that in Southern California?
One tower, but yeah. So that was in San Rafael. We originally were going to shoot at the Grass Valley Tower because there was a tower in Grass Valley that partly inspired the story as well. And it got torn down on day one of filming.
Game over.
It had been, it had been up there for like 50, 60 years. We go up there to shoot and we bring all of our gear. As we go up there, there are trucks taking pieces of the tower, driving past us. We show up, it's completely demolished, bro.
No way.
It had been there for decades.
Wow, that's like a sign of something.
Yeah, and we were like, you know what? We're not going to quit. We are going to shoot the rest of the movie as is. We'll find another tower later. We didn't even know if there was any, and we just figured it out, and it was a walk by faith kind of moment.
Oh my gosh.
And so it took us 9 months to find another tower. That was partly why the movie took so long as well. I mean, we couldn't find a tower for the life of us that would let us shoot there.
It's good you had your actors still together, not quit.
Yeah, and it was right before Rudy went to go shoot Outer Banks with Netflix, so it was the very last possible weekend that we could do it because he was gone for 6 months to go do the Netflix show. And so we shot in San Rafael. We climbed the tower. We had a tower climber. We had somebody with us doing it safely, all that. This tower looks so much better than the one in Grass Valley. The one in Grass Valley was like up in the woods, dingy, broken down.
What's a tower climber? What is that?
Like a safety guy, a guy that works on AT&T radio towers, or a guy that works on towers that are cell towers, all that stuff.
No way.
Yeah.
Just to do it legit, make sure that like no one died on during.
Yeah, and so that we could get permission from the property owner being like, hey, we have a trained professional who's going to be helping us. And so we have harnesses and all that stuff. If you look close in the movie, at the last shots of the movie, Marvin you can see his blue harness under his shirt.
No way.
Yeah. So they're like harnessed down, locked onto the tower. They never stand up on the tower. You never see them stand up.
Huh. Interesting.
Because when you're standing up, moving around, you have to be clipped to something, all that. It was a whole adventure, and the new tower looked so much better than the previous one.
Oh, it looked great. That's a cool area. Yeah.
Yeah, getting the drone shots coming in. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. And so, God worked that for good as well.
Yeah, no, that was super cool.
But yeah, what was it like seeing it?
It was cool. I mean, it was Sarah and I watched together, and I was like, this is going to be very unique because it's going to be from Spencer's perspective. Obviously has to kind of attempt to put my perspective in there. Otherwise the movie won't work, No, it was fun. I was like, hey, for however much this costs, this is like pretty good, like there's a good storyline, and I'm glad that Spencer thinks I'm like super good looking because he, had like a major actor play me. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. And then there was one scene where it's like someone opens the door and it's me and my girlfriend on the bed, like making out. I'm like, come on, that's not real. Like, when did that happen? But I'm like, hey, he needed some dramatic effect. Like,
I love how you always refer to Joey's character as me. You're like, yeah, me in the movie.
Well, yeah, it's my character. Like, he's just playing me,
It's like an alternate timeline, It's
Totally.
us in an alternate timeline.
Yes,
so not
yeah.
everything's going to be accurate.
No,
but I tried to do the spirit of our story justice.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's good. I liked how skateboarding was like a Easter egg thing. That was kind of fun.
What is this, Go Skate Day?
So that was cool. I love how skateboarding, even though the movie's not about skateboarding, like it's in there. So that's kind of fun.
Duke has his like skate video, hype video premiere. That was very reminiscent of like our low budget, tiny premieres just in like an auditorium, Luke Reed giving the speech. So much of it was directly inspired by real life, just autobiographical.
Yeah. No, it was cool. I really enjoyed it.
What about like the themes and kind of the ending and them going separate ways and all of that? Like, what did you take away from it once you finished the movie?
Yeah, I still think the movie talks, gives a good representation of your hurt and pain. It's super hard for you to understand exactly every detail of the things I was thinking about, but I mean, it's a movie from your perspective, so it does a good job of like kind of sharing it from that point of view. I mean, it's a movie. It's supposed to catch the spirit of the general spirit of it, so like, I'm not gonna like talk about every detail. Like, hey, that was an accurate representation of me.
You're like, I didn't wear that jacket.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't have that blonde hair. No, but it was a good movie. And then at the ending, yeah, we did kind of go our own separate ways, and that was true. I guess movie 2 will be life afterwards.
Yeah, dude, what do you think Space Waves Ep 2 needs to be about?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe a Space Wave sequel could happen one day.
Yeah, it could. Maybe 10 years later.
Where's my royalties?
I already signed my life away. I would be a bad actor, but if you could find someone, if you could have the same actor, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating / review. 5 stars is a power play. Be sure to follow me on social medias at Spencer Whiteout to stay up to date. If you haven't already, go watch the coming of angst comedy drama Space Waves, available now on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, and YouTube. As always, stay tuned and stay hyped for part 3, where Roman and I round out the series with, well, just wait and see. That's a wrap.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
So what are your side of the bedrooms over there?
Do you guys know about the 3 main topics? Well, I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you. 3 main topics that guys talk about: Jesus, pooping, and girls.
I need some Neosporin.
Oh, it's not that funny.
Come on, dude. Somebody pump me up.
Woo! Let's go! Go!
No, not the film where it always has to be somebody different.
Fine.
I don't know.
Do this. Someone make their pecs dance.
I've done it before, but I don't know how to do it on
somebody
purpose.
needs
You
to
can't
come
film
over
me
and
without
start
my shirt on.
smacking me. You need to just start smacking me so I get pumped.
And that's it.